One. Greetings once again, my noble knights. It is I, Blaze Templar, and I'm joined by a Magikarp once again.
More or less. But hello, this is Fisherman James. Glad to catch you all again. Ah,
So, let,
nothing. I was making a joke.
oh, well, it probably wasn't that funny, so we can move on.
I think
I'm
it's pretty
sorry.
alluring.
Okay, if you say so.
Enough of the
Anyway,
puns.
last time we actually were starting to get into this like 3 or 4 part, kind of depending on how it goes.
Mm.
Um, special about why do Poketubers leave, and I know we haven't been doing really podcasty things before, but I thought it was a good thing to actually cover. And I should turn off Discord because apparently it's going to beep in my ears unless I don't.
That's why you have it turned to stream
Anyway,
mode. So that way people don't try to talk to you.
yeah, I should, but I didn't think of it. I just have it on Do Not Disturb now. That'll work.
Same here. I do the same.
Fair enough. Anyway, last time we talked about like the new generation, VGC, money, YouTube, drama, being all topics that kind of help encourage Poketubers to leave. But another one that we started talking about after the stream was, or the podcast, not stream, was over, that we should have covered in the first video was actually boredom.
Mm-hmm. Just sadly seeing the same Pokemon over and over again, or just seeing Pokemon over and over again with very little changes in between of how people tend to function with them, can get a bit stale, I believe.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very true. Because you see Garchomp, it's a great Pokemon. I like Garchomp. It's cool. But I'll be the first to admit, when you see a Garchomp, you know what's coming.
Earthquake!
Earthquake, Dragon Claw or Outrage, Poison Jab, and then Swords Dance, unless it's banded, then another coverage move.
Yeah, very true.
Or
And-
Scarf.
Or the random Dragon Tail sets, which, again, those are random, so... Eh?
Those are actually kind of cool, because, you know, it's nifty, unique.
Oh, yeah. Bulky, rocky helmet, rough skin, Dragon Tail. It's
Yeah,
fun.
that's pretty common, too. I mean, the rough skin thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you kind of... I mean,
With
I,
the
remember, I
rocky
remember in the Smoking
helmet.
Rule set, you have to keep roll...
Oh,
so,
yeah.
all that fun stuff. But that's usually why people run that ability.
Yeah, it's still a really good ability, though, so... On Garchomp, because it has the bulk.
Don't pet the land shark. It'll be a little rough on you.
But yeah, I mean, if you look on like the Smogon usage stats, like right now, I think Lando T has a 46% usage,
Oh, shoot.
which is absolutely massive. It really is. And
yeah.
honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it goes Uber this generation, just because it does so much good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I get the feeling it'll balance out and people will figure out how to deal with it on the new teams. So.
Run ice moves.
No, really?
I don't know. I feel like you're giving me the cold shoulder here. Ah. Sorry, I'm in a punny mood. But
I can tell. That wasn't a funny one either.
it wasn't punny.
It was very punny, just not funny.
Oh, okay, good. I want to make sure I get a difference in that one.
Yeah, well, anyway, this episode, before we get completely derailed again, we were going to actually talk about the effects of these topics, that these issues that are causing Poketubers to leave and what they have on the people.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know we briefly covered in the last video, but we didn't really go into full detail in the last podcast about those.
Yeah.
So, for example, the new generation thing, this one really we did cover pretty well, I think. There's not a lot to say to it other than, yeah, I mean, you get this new gen and it changes everything you've known. It can be quite frustrating.
Hey, do you have your 6 IV Ditto? No? Well, have fun trying to learn how to breed again and go get the right IVs. Oh, you're not happy they don't have DexNav anymore? Okay, cool. You have to go use the SOS chain. Oh, did you get tired of seeing the same Pokemon in the SOS, and then you finally find the right one, and then the partner Pokemon killed it? Oh, look, start again. I hate you, Sharpedo. I hate you so much. 3 hours down to the toilet. God, why did you swagger your own teammate?
What?
Yeah, Sharpedos will swagger each other.
Why?
I don't know. It's stupid and it pissed me off. I had to take like a 2 day break after that. It was just like I wasted 3 hours doing this trying to get the HA.
Ugh,
God, kill me.
that's annoying.
Yeah. So that was a part of that. That was enough of a reason to make me kind of want to take a break from Pokemon for a little while. So.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, I when they took out super training, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm done. It was tedious enough even with super training.
I personally like super training. It's just something you can kind of do, and you can keep exact map
Yeah,
of what your IVs are at. I mean, I know
yeah,
the
it's
island
easier for
also does that. The Pokelago, I can't pronounce it right, but it also allows you to
it's
do EV training, but it takes time, and that's cool and
lots
all. But
of
the
it.
problem is that if you need to train a bunch of Pokemon to make a full team, and you only get 3 slots at max to like for each different set, you have to waste like a week basically trying to do that, even with the beans and stuff.
Yep, yep, yep,
And
yep.
that works if you're gonna go to sleep or something like that. Like, oh, you know you're gonna go to sleep in like 3 hours, and then you have like a couple extra hours after that to make sure you're done after all the beans. But you're still losing over half a day just trying to grind up one Pokemon's IV or EVs.
Exactly, and it's frustrating. And I'll admit the battle system. I mean, the game systems for battling to get to those battles is really quite counterintuitive towards that. Like the once again losing move tutors,
Mm-hmm. God, they always
and
do that. Maybe in Pokemon
yeah,
Stars. Obligatory
or
mention.
actually, I think they're gonna come out with a DPP remake before they come out with a
Oh, I
sequel or
do. I
whatever.
love Generation 4 the most. I know people will hate me for saying that, but I love Generation 4 the best. I love the
Hey, don't
underground.
knock it. It saved Pokemon for me.
I know, I understand that. I mean, Generation 4 is a lot of people's favorite competitive generation anyway,
Mhm.
so it makes sense. Again, I just love a
Yeah,
lot of the additions that it brought, because, I mean, personally, I love Weavile as a Pokemon. Togekiss
Weavile is
is,
pretty cool.
in my opinion, kind of a derpy bird, but it makes sense for the evolution, what they're going for.
Hmm. Yeah,
And Mamoswine,
and I mean,
for anybody who's
oh
favorited that one.
yes, it gave us
Of course, I
Mamo,
had to say
and
that.
hmm yeah, no, can't say no to Mamo. It's an amazing mon.
Hmm.
Sad thing is, it took me like to nearly the end of fifth generation to start using Mamoswine.
It's become a staple for you since.
Yeah, I love that Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, um, we got way sidetracked there in that talk.
Our
But
Generation 4
uh,
love. But yes.
yes, exactly. So yeah, with the we were talking boredom and new
And
gen. That's
yeah,
right.
whenever they get rid of mechanics like the move tutor, so you can't like get easy moves on your Pokemon, or not even it's easy, but
Yeah,
certain like advantages
key
that
moves
Pokemon
like
will
Ice
have.
Punch
Yeah, Ice Punch, or
or
even like
Funk Shot.
or like for me randomly, I know how people like hate this cancerous team set, but Iron Defense on a Mega Slowbro. Love that.
That's such an annoying Pokemon.
I love that Pokemon so much because of how stupid it
I
is.
know you.
To
I know
quit
you do.
this, you never will. Oh.
Have fun with that.
I will. When I 6-0 a
Uh,
bunch of different people, it's amazing because they just like, why are you this much of a jerk? I'm like, I don't know. I just am. But
that's
again,
what
back on
Toxic
topic.
is for.
Back on topic. That's why I run
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. And Haze.
Oh yeah, no, Hayes is my arch enemy, which is why I love that Toxapex finally gets it.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, with blast it with the
Generations.
yes, with the generations. Like for example, I was pretty upset when Steel lost its resistance to both Ghost and Dark. That was painful.
Oh yeah, I miss your
Uh,
favorite typing.
yeah, it really did hurt it. I mean, and I think it did have a kind of negative effect on the meta. Yes, it was a good effect in the fact that it encouraged variety,
Hmm.
but it also hurt the meta because there's not a lot that can deal with ghosts anymore.
Oh no, I mean, what you have like what dark types and normal.
Yeah, and so you now have dark types kind of taking center stage.
And Dark's already being kind of nerfed a bit by just the existence of fairies, which people love to use those.
Mhm.
AKA Clefable is one of my favorite.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, I mean, with like Prankster being nerfed to the ground thanks to dark types.
Which I like that, honestly.
Uh,
I know people
yeah,
might be a bit mixed on that, but I do think that was a good nerf.
yeah, Prankster was too good before, but the point is that they're giving dark types too much utility, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because
I love my Mega Gyarados and his dark typing, dragon
yeah,
typing.
no, no, thank you. I'll take dark type anytime.
Oh yeah, no. At this point, it's much better to be dark type for it. Uh,
Yeah, I'd rather have a dark type than a dragon type. Though
oh,
I do really like dragon. Don't get me wrong.
oh no, I would love if Gyarados was a dragon water type instead of a water dark in its Mega, of course.
Better yet, dark dragon.
Oh god. I mean, Fairy would be the utter annihilation of it, but that would be hilarious because then it only has one other quad weakness, I guess. So it switches away from electricity to now dragon or fairy. So, fair's game, I guess. I'd be okay with that. Hey,
Yeah,
Nintendo, fix this please for Generation 7.
this is Generation 7.
Darn, I'm in 8. Gotta add our cherry on Pokemon too. Gotta have our chair.
Anyway, but in all seriousness, that can have a negative yet positive effect. Like with Gengar losing its levitate ability, that's pretty painful.
Yeah, and also now with Destiny Bond being kind of set to the
Nerf.
same example of Protect, honestly, with how it fails after, or it's more common to fail after one use. So,
50% every time.
yep, and then it gets cut down even more if you keep on getting it correctly. So it basically just becomes Protect. So it's just like okay, Protect, Destiny Bond, Protect. Which I don't think it actually, I think it does not, or it does stack, so you can't technically keep on doing that kind of BS, sadly.
Well, I, you know, it's just on some ends it is nice that they're doing things like that. Like Mantine seriously needed the buffs that it got.
Oh, speaking of that, I need to make use of that at
Gigalith
some
getting
point.
the buff was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, no. It getting this another
That kind of
rock
thing,
type actually
that's
getting Sandstream is such a good plus because I mean heck honestly Sandstorm is really good just for rock types honestly. I mean it's good for ground and steel, don't get me wrong, but rock types especially love it with that 50% special defense boost.
Oh yeah, rock types definitely get the most advantage out of Sandstorm. No arguments there.
I mean,
But
heck Gigalith is so good in dull battles just because of that too.
yeah, and I mean when it starts to get low, you can always just go, okay, I'm out, kaboom.
Very true, very true.
But yeah, I mean it's changes like that can be very difficult for people and frustrating to deal with. So I understand that. And I know we talked pretty heavily on the VGC format, which was the next one on the topic.
Oh yeah.
And it was honestly something that I think needs some serious work with how they do the format. You can keep the format as it is for like one of the league systems, but you're discounting all the single players, you're discounting all the rotation, triple players, which they got rid of those unfortunately, but you know.
I love rotation, that was my favorite battle style, but
I love rotations too. You know what we should do sometime? Actually do some rotations in Oris.
I didn't they cut off the no, because I think you can still battle.
No,
stuff
no.
and, yeah, you can still
It's
over Wi-Fi.
3DS is fine. It's just DS that you can't do that.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, no, that'd be kind of cool to do at some point. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's mostly you have to realize technically the reason why they got rid of it was not just because we don't like that playstyle anymore. It's honestly just because tech reasons. Because literally, have you ever seen a dull battle being played out? You lose so many frames.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you have
I mean,
weather
I have the
and-
new 3DS XL,
Same.
and it still struggles at times.
Oh, it does, especially when you have weather and terrain abilities both going on
Mhm.
with large Pokemon all actively trying to do stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Or
like,
flying types like Moltres.
oh yeah, Alex.
I don't get why Nintendo or the game or why Game Freak has such trouble with the 3DS and optimizing it so it's buttery smooth.
It's because this game's made for the Switch. Let's be honest now.
Probably.
I mean, that's why we actually have walk cycles in the game itself. There's actually walk cycles for all the Pokemon, which are in the game. They just can't use it because it probably be overload the new 3DS.
Yep. Yep, yep. That's unfortunate.
I mean, if anything, it just kind of shows that Stars, haha, quote quote, for the name there, and hopefully the
Yeah.
eventual Gen 4 remake will actually have the walk cycles. Because if it does, that would be so good. Because I mean, imagine having
Mhm.
Underground plus your Pokemon walk following right behind you.
Oh my. But yeah, with that, I do think that it's just the format with VGC just ignores so many different types of players, I think, and that's the problem.
Because if you're
It
not in that set,
focuses and caters. hmm
sorry about that.
It just focuses so heavily on that one set category that it leaves a lot of players feeling disenfranchised and in the
Just left
like
out in the
I can't
snow.
tell you how many. Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you how many competitors included go. I would go to the world tournament, but it's doubles, and I don't play doubles. Not really.
They're not
Why
from
would I
the
want to go to something I don't even play?
they're not from the Ori region.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I completely understand that because like, even I'm a bit of a double battle or a double person, but I've kind of like for seventh gen, I've just kind of not cared too much about doubles. Sixth gen, I've had tons of teams for that, but
hmm
it's there's a lot more prep when, in my opinion, to double battle teams versus singles.
I don't know. They both have a lot of prep time involved if you want to be competitive, like
True.
honestly competitive.
Yeah, no, you're
Um,
right.
and you can never really get the perfect team because it's always going to have a weakness, a vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
And it's just you as a player overcoming those vulnerabilities and, working past them.
Very true, very true. Because
But
again, it's also if your
yeah.
opponent can even figure out, oh no, this is my win con.
Exactly. So, um, yeah, I think VGC does hurt the community quite a bit. I mean, it helps it too because, excitement, momentum, all that fun stuff. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you have so many players that don't even watch the VGCs because it's only doubles.
We all can't have Pachirisus.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so some of the best players in the world, they can't even be recognized for their skill. They're not they're not considered the world champion because they don't do doubles.
And that's kind of
And
a sad
that just
fact.
seems wrong. It's wrong, I think. And you could even do it where it's like doubles world champion, singles world champion, rotation, team, etc.
Yeah.
And then you could even do ultimate world champion where they like do a best of series in the so it could work.
Yeah.
Maybe the rotation guy is actually the best trainer overall.
No one would ever know.
Yeah, until they did that end tournament,
Yeah.
where all the champions battled each other to find out who was the best of them all in each of the styles.
Oh yeah. Just like how like someone had to do like a best 2 out of 3 or something like that of each of the styles. You take forever, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
Especially if someone tries to battle
Not
with me.
really.
When you have stall in place, yes, it will.
It would take a lot longer, and I know that's probably part of the reason why they don't allow that. But you could make rules against that, like teams that are intentionally focused around paper cut tactics or something, can't be used.
Cortana.
You know what I meant.
Oh, I know. I'm just being taken the literal meaning of it.
Don't be bringing up paper, lad.
Super effective on me.
Duncan would be upset if he heard you taking his paper, lad.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so the next one we did mention was the YouTube and money system, which honestly I think we covered it really well in the last video, unless you have something else to add.
January just screws over too many people when it comes to YouTube, and that it's especially
It really
true.
does.
Especially true to Poketubers who already make a living off of the pay off of like YouTube. So
Mhm.
I figure it's only even
Then
more
January.
detrimental. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, January really does hurt, and February is not much better.
Oh yeah. No, it's not until like what? I mean, 3 or 4
March or
months in.
April that it
Yeah, I'm say
starts.
when it starts getting a bit better when it comes just to advertisements and stuff.
Yeah, it's the December area that really, skyrockets. But
Oh yeah. But sad.
still difficult.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that does once again bring us to the final issue, and that is, of course, the drama.
Oh
And
yeah.
we went loosely over some of it, but a few years back, um, one world's competitor bred a not an Aegis. Well, it
Oh,
was an
it was
Aegis
a it
slash.
was an Aegis
Started
slash,
up
but it
as a
was a
Hone
Hone
Edge.
Edge. Yeah. In a
It
Dream
started as
Ball.
a Hone Edge. Yeah, which he didn't know couldn't be done. So that meant that one of the parents were hacked. But he actually bred the Pokemon legitimately.
Technically,
Like,
yes.
oh, I have a Hone Edge. Let's get this thing bred and use it in Worlds. Nintendo knew about that, the Pokemon company, and they said it's fine in this case
I
because
honestly
we've
think
checked
they didn't even catch
legal.
it until someone pointed it out, and they're like, "Oh shoot, well, it's too much hassle just to undo it, so we let it slide." Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, the official said it's fine.
Okay.
Um, yeah, they did say it was fine, and it was understandable. It was a mistake. It happens. We're gonna
Mhm.
let it go. And he actually ended up going really far, but after that tournament, um, he was demonized by uh, select groups.
Mhm.
We'll say it that way for now.
Yeah.
As like a hacking scumbag who deserves to like have his trophy taken away. He's worthless. Blah blah blah.
Hmm.
It was really hateful. It
Oh
was
yeah.
really nasty stuff. And honestly, with as much hate as he was getting, I wouldn't be surprised if he regretted even going to Worlds.
Oh yeah. No, you can only take so much hate before you're just kind of like, well, either I have to completely ignore this and then hope that it eventually dies out. Which, let's be honest, most people can hold a grudge forever. Ugh.
Hmm.
Or basically just kind of just outright just kind of say, okay, I'm done, just move away from anything altogether. And that's just kind of sad that that has to be one of your options where you just give up.
Yeah, where it's just like, okay, internet, you win. I can't. I don't want to deal with this anymore, and so I'm gonna quit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like swatting
Oh
is,
god, I hate that so much.
Well,
Yeah.
I do too. It's a horrible, horrible thing to have happen,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, it's way too common. And it's harassing. It affects and bothers people. And I mean, people. There was a guy who was playing Pokemon Go for Twitter or Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
They swatted him in the middle of a park.
Oh my
They
god.
said that he was carrying an assault rifle and threatening like two or three other people.
Oh.
So they had to vacate the park, lock it down, and hunt this guy down.
Who probably
And
also
then,
left as well at that point, which is like, wait, what?
yeah, because all he had was a phone. Obviously, he's not the threat, but they actually had to track him down because of this threat, and they had to have him shut his phone off and stuff like that. And for a while there, they thought he was going to get shot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even hear about that, but oh.
It was awful. It was awful. And um, that kind of acidic behavior, it turns people away, and
Mm-hmm.
that's actually another part of the drama. Like, if you knew that you were going to get swatted, would you bother streaming that day? Of
Oh
course
no,
not.
I'm pretty sure I'd just be like, oh no, I'm good today. I don't want to. I'm just gonna go read a
Yeah,
book or something.
and honestly, it takes a lot of strength to go, okay, I was swatted, but I'm going to keep doing what I do because I love what I do, and while it is a bit of a risk, um, hopefully that immaturity won't happen again.
Yeah, no, I
So it takes
completely
a lot of
agree with
strength to
that.
do, and it's worse because people who've been swatted, that's actually killed people
Mm-hmm.
because they're told like, oh well, the streamer is murdered, his wife and two kids, or is holding a bunch of people at gunpoint and threatening to blow up the house or whatever, and so it's a high stress situation, and so they have to like be in full combat armor, break down the doors, and storm in, and their fingers are on the trigger.
Oh yeah, no, and all
They
it takes
see
is just like you making one wrong twitch, and then
one twitch,
you're gone.
one twitch on either side, someone's dead. It's that tense.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, and it's not even that, but it also costs the government a lot of money. There's nothing funny about it.
Oh yeah, no.
And unfortunately, Poketubers have experienced this kind of drama too.
Sadly. Ugh.
And so, I mean, when you get a community that gets as acidic as the Pokemon one can, thankfully the Noble Knights are pretty noble, so I haven't had to worry about that myself. But some parts of the community are absolutely horrific.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Like,
just...
there was a... Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say just how it's just kind of sad how humans can be like that sometimes. Just people.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. But yeah, with the entire thread of that, before Sun and Moon were released, I actually saw a thread on GameFAQs about, is it okay to hack Pokemon and why not, kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the arguments used by the anti-hacking, you're going to go and die if you hack, crowd were very, very circular, and they didn't have any like reasoning behind them or logic.
I feel like their defense is hacking is bad because it's bad. Nintendo says don't, so you shouldn't. It's like, well, yeah.
And you know what? If I was playing at a Nintendo event, I would agree. If I'm going to go to Worlds, you better believe I'm going to have to breed those Mons.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to regionals, I'm going to have to breed those Mons. If I'm going to nationals, I'm going to breed them.
Not if I'm trying to play with my buddy and like we're both trying to just like have fun, like figure out how the competitive or how we want to test out certain Pokemon before we actually make them, it's kind of better to do that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like it's one of those things. It's just work, play by play kind of thing, or play it by ear. Like, yeah. In my opinion.
Well, the thing is, hacking, when done legit, gives no competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm. It's not like you have a Wonder Guard in your Spirit Tomb.
Quite literally just a way to save time. And you go into any particular esport or game that has a competitive community, they each have things that do not give a competitive advantage but save time. Like you'll see in Call of Duty, they'll like unlock a lot of things through various faster ways, or like aim assist bots offline to unlock all the equipment, or against other people using aim assist bots and just having the AI kill each other over and over again.
Yeah.
Just to get everything unlocked while they go do other things. That makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, they're already spending hundreds upon hundreds of hours doing things, why do they have to spend hundreds upon hundreds more hours just to get the equipment they need to have a competitive fighting chance? And in Pokemon, your equipment, if you will, which I hate to refer to them as such, but your team / equipment / battling party is basically hundreds upon hundreds of hours of unlocks.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you do it legit, it can feel really good. I won't argue. I mean, I've bred a lot of Pokemon. It feels good to get a 6 IV Pokemon with some hard work. It's really rewarding.
2,000 eggs. Quillfish.
Yeah. I mean, when you finally do get that one egg, it is super rewarding.
It just made me want to burn down the ocean.
Exactly. Sorry,
getting
I actually calculated just how long it would take to breed teams on Poketubing. And literally, if you do a new team every day, which is what you basically should be doing on YouTube,
I mean, I would
You
say
are
like
literally,
every couple of days, honestly. But yeah.
yeah, 1 to 3 days
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
But at any rate, doing that every single day means you are literally spending more hours than are in every day
Yeah, because I think
possible.
it averages me to, like, for me breeding, just because I have quite a few different Dittos, and just like quite a few at this point. I have competitive Mons that I can use as breeding partners. I think it takes
Hmm.
me a minimum of 2 hours just to fully breed up one Pokemon
Hmm.
and get like its IVs done, or EVs technically. That's not even counting the move set or anything else like set up in as well. If they have
Yeah.
certain egg moves, or if they have certain move tutor stuff, which of course we can't get right now, but
Yeah.
mood
And
point.
heaven help you if you mess up on the egg move.
Oh god. Or if you forget it and then you move over one, and then you like. Fortunately, they've been a bit more forgiving on that one, where you get one relearn back. Ugh.
Yeah, that's good news at least. But even so, it is very, very
Tedious,
frustrating.
tedious and frustrating.
Yeah, tedious. And I mean, I calculated it with like an average of 4 hours per mon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then you also have to find your battles. That's take a couple hours. Then you have to get a good one. That can take several more hours.
Yeah.
Then you have to get that video uploaded and edited. There's a few more hours gone. All of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden, you're already through an entire day, and all you've done is like 2 or 3 battles.
Yeah, and that's just not
It's
exactly
it's
fun.
exhausting.
Yeah, it's just
It is
completely
literally
draining.
exhausting. It is. And okay, so I'm playing against someone else who's using only legitimate Pokemon. Okay, well, if they're going, hey, I don't want to have any hacked Pokemon, they have to be properly bred. Okay, fine, I'll just use properly bred things.
It's not
And if I can't, I'll go, I can't, sorry.
yeah, and also hacked Pokemon don't just like give you the hacked cooties on naturally bred
Yeah,
Pokemon either.
exactly.
People need to realize that.
Yeah.
I understand that
No,
yes,
no, it's
hacking
not
is
that.
bad, but it's not like ooh cooties, now you're infected. Pokerus.
And it's not hurting anybody either. Um, you could argue that maybe it lessens the value of like shiny legendaries, but does it really? I mean, think about it.
Well, it's also coming from somebody who
The
hates most
legendaries you've
shinies.
got, the legendaries you get that are shiny, they're your legendaries that you spent hard time on. You're not gonna get rid of them more than likely, right?
Hopefully
So,
not.
or you're not gonna trade them away for something else.
Hmm.
Not with that kind of time,
Oh yeah.
unless you're, giving them away because you're done with Pokemon or something.
Hmm.
But for the just think about it this way. Those Pokemon are so rare, they're so special that you don't give them away.
Hmm.
They're yours. They're a mark of your hard accomplishment. And there's nothing that can take that away from you. Sure, someone else has a shiny that looks exactly like yours, but guess what?
It's
He doesn't
not.
have the memories that he has yours.
Hmm.
He doesn't remember how many hours you spent sweating to get that Pokemon. He doesn't remember how many tries of that Pokeball, how many tries it took to get both the shiny and the right nature and the right IVs.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't remember those things. And you can look at it in pride because you did it that way.
Hmm.
It takes absolutely nothing away from you.
And it only takes it away from you if you let it take it away from you.
Exactly. And so in that case, this argument, I think both sides need to be able to show a lot more respect for each other. Like, um, I respect those who do breeding because it is not easy. It
Mm-hmm.
isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I'm also able to respect the competitive players that don't do breeding because what they're doing isn't easy either. They're playing at a very high level, consistently, constantly. And sure, they may drop a game here or there. Everyone does. I mean, I dropped the DBL battle this week or last week, which was embarrassing. But
Never switch in on
um,
an earthquake.
never bring in a Toxicroak on Doug Trio, especially when you say don't do it and then you do it. I was mad at myself for that one.
Oh yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, sure, you'll drop a game here or there, but you have to play at a very high level consistently and constantly to be at that level, and it means you have to use a lot of different Pokemon. And if you're playing 30, 40 hours a week just with Pokemon battles, there literally just isn't enough time. There
Hmm.
just isn't. Even if you go ahead and quit your day job or you quit school and all you do is breed Pokemon and battle, you'll be spending 99% of it breeding and then the 1% not breeding. And yeah, no, I mean, when you're already on that 40-hour schedule for battles, it's just too much.
Oh yeah. Oh God, the amount of time
So
it
I
really
think,
takes.
yeah. And again, um, to be fair, if there are rules in place, like by an official sanctioned event or by a community hosted tournament or something like that, follow those rules. But against two different competitive players playing that know that competitive, legit mons may be used, have at it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, don't bring the Mega Rayquaza perfectly IV'd shiny to like against a level 4 or a 4-year-old kid, level 4, who's using a
That's not
Rattata.
that's not fun or fair for either party.
Yeah, because you want little Joey going, "Hey, I got the Rattata, it's the best ever," and then just like, "Okay, cool, Dragon Saint."
You knocked out my favorite Pokemon.
Uh,
So it hurts that too because think about just being the little kid shoes for a moment. You caught this team that you're really proud of, and then you're just completely crushed by this guy who used a Mega Rayquaza. You're 6 years old. How are your emotions feeling right now?
oh yeah, no, you're crushed. You're just like, "Oh, I thought it was good. I mean, I caught the first one I found, and it's just like, nope, you get good, scrub." And
And
it's just like, "Aw, that's just mean."
and yeah, it is. It's very disrespectful to do that. And so that's the thing that I think the community has forgotten, and it's the important thing is to be able to respect and look at each other with dignity. And this drama issue has divided the community in that regard. And a lot of people, they just can't take any more of it. They're tired of it, so they leave.
Hmm. I think there's just like this one comic artist that did like a comic strip that was basically going over this entire topic, uh, and she made a good point on it basically. So if I could, I'll probably try to find a link and post it in my or post in the part of this. But it's just like it's a really good comic that kind of covers it, that just the hacking controversy kind of thing.
Sure. When at the end of the day, we all love Pokemon, or we should be. Otherwise, why are you playing it? And here we are tearing each other apart because we have a disagreement on how the game should be played.
No, yeah.
That's just honestly petty.
There's over what 700, 800 of these things now. I mean, just because you play it one way does not mean that everybody has to play it exactly like you.
Yeah, that's awfully arrogant to think that you have the right to tell everyone how to play the game. What are you, Pokemon God? You're not Arceus, people.
I don't believe in Arceus. I believe in Muism. Oh, bad jokes.
Yeah, just a lot.
Uh, Rhyhorn is the true beginning.
Of course he is.
Uh,
Ugh,
but yeah, no, it's just people need to learn how to
why
calm
is
down
this a
and
thing? Show a
uh,
little dignity.
basically.
802 it looks like.
Oh god, and there's gonna be more.
Every generation, a few more added.
Yeah, that's not even
But
counting
if you notice
technically.
the last couple generations, they've slowed down.
Oh yeah, which I think is only because they're kind of realizing that oh shoot, we're still gonna have like 1,000 at that point, and that's just. I mean, I'm trying to memorize every single Pokemon as it is, just because I love being a living Pokedex at times. But you can only remember
Yeah,
so much.
which is more than people think it is, but not as much as people want it to be.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's um gonna be interesting once Pokemon hits 1,000. 2 more generations will probably do it, maybe
Oh yeah.
3. But yeah, I mean, the drama that we have in the Pokemon community, it eats away at people's enthusiasm, their hearts, and their will. And it doesn't matter which side of the drama you're on, it
Hmm.
will destroy you. It either destroys your reputation, your dignity, your self-esteem, your it it's destructive all around.
You don't burn a candle from both ends.
Well, that's exactly what this drama does.
Yeah.
And sure, the Pokemon community might be bigger than ever, but it's also more acidic than ever. And a community that tries to tear itself apart will eventually break. And when
Hmm.
that happens, the Pokemon community, I don't know how if it will really recover. And I don't want that to happen to Pokemon.
Oh yeah, no, it's been here since all of our childhoods. If not for some of them, even it's just been here forever, even before they were
Before that.
born. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just,
For most people in that case that
oh
are,
yeah,
Pokemon fans, but
yeah.
yeah.
Whether you've been here from like the original Red Blue, or you've been here since Generation 2 or Generation 3, it doesn't matter. It's just we're all people who enjoy Pokemon. Live and learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So, yeah, it's just,
just one of those
21 years of Pokemon.
things. Oh god, it's old enough to drink now.
It is. I'm not going to serve it any alcohol, but it could if it wanted to.
Yeah, it'll end up being like Spinda.
I just get this mental image of like the Pokemon Company logo just kind of wobbling around like a Spinda.
If I had the ability to mess with GIFs, I would do that and just add that to this or something.
I don't blame you.
I think it'd be pretty funny.
But yeah, no. So yeah, Pokemon Company and Pokemon, it's gonna be legal this year here in America. I swear, if someone actually does make a GIF or GIF, depending on how you want to say it, of Pikachu spinning like a Spinda, I will lose it.
I'll see if I can find that later.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it go another 21 years.
Oh yeah, no, I will love to be able to teach my grandkids how to play Pokemon and how Magikarp is the best.
I'll be happy to teach my grandnephews and nieces. So,
Uh, just show Pokemon to a whole new generation, Generation X.
exactly. Passing on Pokemon really will be a really neat and rewarding experience in the end, I think.
Oh yeah.
But only if we can stop destroying it.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's happening right now.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that's going to be the wrap of part 2. But we'll see you again in part 3. Although, considering how long we've been at this today, we'll probably record that another time.
Hopefully, when we actually have more energy.
Yeah, not 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning.
Close enough on
Depending
both
on where you're
answers.
at. Yeah, exactly. Either way you look at it, it's still close.
But yeah, from Fisherman James, this is gonna be see you till part 3.
Noble Knights, see you next time. This is Blaze Templar signing out.